your point that you made on Sydney's story, are you saying the cool things that they didn't kind of like coincide with her story?
Once again, she's the grizzled survivor who's trying to move on. She's prepared. They have a panic room. Sydney's got a gun. They have go bags ready. This has been the case since Scream 2. Like this whole thing about her building her entire life around the idea that there might be another ghost phase. And I didn't feel like it changed very much in terms of who she was or where she was at. In my view, Screams 1, 2, and 3 have a near flawless character arc for Sydney. Just watch the last scene of Scream 3 and tell me that's not a perfect ending to Sydney's story. One of the things that this movie needed to do, or any other Scream movie needs to do, is to follow up on that, right? It has to tell the next chapter of Sydney or create a new story. And I don't think they've ever succeeded. They've never found a character who is as likable or as interesting or as who just works as well as Sydney does. And there's not even that much to her, right? Like I think it's just like a convergence of lucky factors. That is the reason that Sydney's story works so well, but it does. And now we see her 20 years later, and she's kind of doing the same things that she did in 2 and 3 in terms of how she lives her life and the precautions and how she reacts to it. I didn't feel like there was very much where I said, okay, I see now that this person is at a new stage of her journey that we didn't see in the previous movies, right? First of all, her life story is out then in the form of the Stab movies and in Gail's book, and we are told that Sydney has written a book as well. But she's hiding the entire story, her entire past from her daughter. She wants to shield Tatum from it as much as possible, even though she named her daughter after one of her friends who died in the most ridiculous way. And it's kind of in conflict with the idea of, I don't want to talk about it. Because every time somebody says her name, she's reminded of the day her friend died, disemboweled, hanging from a garage door 20 years ago. So I think it should have been something along the lines of she's dealt with it in a particular way by, I don't know, having written the book and maybe giving speeches about self-defense or mental health awareness or something like that, right? So it's part of her life, but not in the way other people want it to be, because they want Sydney to be the teenage victim who runs away from the slasher, but she's not that. She's turned into something else. And so they go after her daughter instead because she can still be molded in that way, right? They should have taken it to another place, a new place that follows from what came before, but she's now in a different place because it's 20 years later. And the world has not moved on because they're still watching reruns of Stab. And they want to kind of relive that moment from 1996. It's because it's cool and iconic and famous, but it's not her life anymore. That is like the thematic space or the story space that should have been explored.